Hi everyone, my name is Björn and my topic for today is Finland. Is that in Sweden? This is actually a question I got from a person I met in Waikiki the other day. And the answer to that question is no. Finland is not in Sweden, but an independent country with its own government, its own language and its own culture. Reverend Björn here has already many times pointed out how important it is for us to be aware of other countries and cultures. So today I'm here to share something about the Finnish culture with you. Why do I think this is important? Well, even if you never end up visiting Finland, chances are that you sooner or later will run into a person from Finland due to globalization and everything nowadays. So, I promise you that if you pay attention during this following 10 minutes now, your chances of making a good impression to that Finnish guy will significantly increase. Because of this question I got the other day, we'll start off by pinpointing Finland's exact location on the world map. Then we'll move on and look at some pros and cons in living in Finland. Then I've also listed some fun facts that you probably didn't know about the country. And finally, to make it even more interesting, I'm gonna have a short introduction into the Finnish language and we get to practice that too. So, let's get started. Here we see a picture of the world map, and here somewhere we have Hawaii, and Finland is on the opposite side of the globe. It will take you about 26 hours to get there by plane from here. So it's far away. It's located in Northern Europe. If we can have a closer look at this, we'll see we have Sweden on the west side and Russia to the east. The capital of Finland is Helsinki, and it's located here. Other major cities are Turku, Tampere, and Oulu. The northern parts here is called Lapland, and rumor has it that Santa Claus lives here. What else? Most of the people live here in the southern part of Finland, and the total population is 5 million people, and about 1 million of them live in Helsinki. Okay, now that we pinpointed Finland's exact location, I've made a list of pros and cons of what it's like to live in Finland. Newsweek magazine made a survey last year comparing 100 different countries, and Finland came out on top as to be the best country in the world to live in when they took things like education, healthcare, living condition, etc. in consideration. This is of course debatable, and we all have different preferences when it comes to living conditions, but something must be done right in this country at least. So I made some personal pros and cons here of what I think is good and bad about the country. First, I've written safe. Finland is a very safe country to live in. Very low crime rate and a good place to raise children. Second, nature. Very different from here in Hawaii. That is also beautiful. We have a lot of forests and lakes that many people are fascinated about. Then for the 4 seasons, this is something I think I'd really miss if I moved here permanently, because the variety that the 4 seasons gives is really something I don't think I could live without anymore. And finally, I want to point out the education system in Finland too. Many times being regarded as one of the best in the world, and best of all, it's free for everyone. Even universities are free. So that's a really good thing. Okay, it seems like I don't know why this is smaller on the con side, but it should be the same size. However, the negative aspects, the weather, as I mentioned in my first speech, it was minus 20 degrees when I left Finland, and that's too much even for me. I mean, you can't do anything outdoors when it's so cold. So the winters can be really cold sometimes. Next one, taxes. Taxes are quite high in Finland. about 30% of your incomes. I think that's the average Finnish person pays in tax. It's a progressive taxation system, so the more money you make, the more you pay. This means it's very hard to get rich in the country, but we also don't have a lot of poor people. Then inverted people. Finns are not known to be very social, and compared to Americans, it can be really hard to get to know a Finn. To get a word out of a Finn in the bus is almost impossible. You don't talk to strangers. This of course being general, but and then the difficult language. Finnish is one of the hardest languages in the world to speak. But like I told you, we're gonna practice on that later on in this presentation. Alright. This is also somewhat now distorted, but 5 fun facts that you didn't know about the country. First, Nokia. That's the biggest company in Finland, and it has been for a long time now. They have had a few bad years now, and have recently teamed up with Microsoft, and hopefully they will be able to maintain their position as the largest manufacturer of mobile phones in the world. Second one, Tarja Halonen is the president of Finland. She was the first woman to be elected president in Finland in the year 2000. And as you can see, it's a striking resemblance to the American talk show host Conan O'Brien. Then, the land of the 1,000 lakes. Finland it's always called this, the land of the 1,000 lakes. This is because there are a lot of lakes in this country. According to Finnish Statistics Central, there are about 190,000 lakes inside of Finland, and about 100,000 islands too. This is something that many people find beautiful. And then, wife carrying championship. This is a bit of an odd sport. It's held every year in Finland, where the man carries his woman as fast as he can to the finish line. And this has gained a lot of international attention to wonder why. And finally, the sauna. This is something that's often connected with Finland, and I think it's safe to say that almost every Finn has a sauna in his household. Alright, now that we know a little bit about the background, let's move on to practice the language. Like I told you, this language is really hard and doesn't have a lot of resemblance to English, and a lot of immigrators have a lot of problem with coping with this when they arrive in Finland. So now I want you to repeat after me. Terve. Kiitos.
Kiitos.
Hyvää huomenta.
Hyvää huomenta.
Minun nimeni on.
Minun nimeni on.
Minä rakastan sinua.
Minä rakastan sinua.
Alright, good job. Yoko, how do you say hello in Finnish? Terve. Almost. And Rochelle, would you like to try introducing yourself in Finnish?
No. Minen Nimen Rochelle.
Perfect. Excellent. Now I've covered all my topics for today, and hopefully you learned something about Finland, and I hopefully got you more interested in this small but beautiful country too. And like I said, the world is becoming more and more globalized, so it's very important that we are aware of other countries too. And if you ever get that billion-dollar question of which country is the land of the 1,000 lakes, you'll hopefully know the answer. That's it. Kiitos.